the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. It is interesting to understand that God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. This leads us to imagine that when groups of people arrive at the point of Sodom and Gomorrah, then they reach the stage of their destruction. Think of it this way now. Imagine that the world became like Sodom and Gomorrah, then the world would be destroyed by God. And so, that would be what we would define as the end of the world. But how do you know if the world is reaching the stage of Sodom and Gomorrah? The easiest mechanism would be to try to see in the scriptures what life was like for those who lived in Sodom and Gomorrah, and then compare with the current situation. If we are currently similar to the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, then it can be concluded that the destruction of the world is at hand. In Ezekiel 16:49 we read, "Now this was the sin of her sister Sodom. She and her daughters were arrogant, had plenty of food and were carefree. They did not help the poor and needy." So can we see the arrogance? Is the earth arrogant? Yes, people on earth are getting more arrogant every day. They always think they are right, mainly because in anthropocentrism there is no wrong concept, so not having right and wrong, the arrogant are always right. In this way the world's dominant groups justify their actions on the poor. In fact, such world leaders have plenty of food, they don't care and they don't help the poor and needy. Compassion is something that is disappearing day by day on planet Earth. See that according to the text we read, the system of resemblance to Sodom is becoming clearly observable. We can read in Jeremiah 23:14, "And among the prophets of Jerusalem I saw something horrible. They commit adultery and live a lie. They encourage those who do evil, so that none of them turn from his wickedness. To me they are all like Sodom. The people of Jerusalem are like Gomorrah." Note that one of the great foundations is that the learning of those who should tell the way to good makes people not convert. Thus, the error is accepted as natural. And this is a clear fact in today's world. The acceptance of error, as accepted and justifiable, reaching the point of becoming even worthy, and those who are correct defined as fanatics. In this way in the world and church's concept, men needs to sin as healthy, and the surge not to sin it is labeled fanaticism. And so, the people become free for their practices, being justified either by the common concept, or by pseudo-religious ideas. If we read Isaiah 3-9, we have, "The way they look testifies against them. They show their sin like Sodom, hiding nothing. Woe to them! For they have brought disgrace upon themselves." Currently what we have is the praise of error. In this way errors are no longer hidden, they are clearly defined as rights. And people who make mistakes have a haughty look, and they describe it as a personal right to be wrong, having nothing to hide their mistakes. It is often said that the error of Sodom and Gomorrah is unnatural sexual intercourse. This is also a sin of Sodom and Gomorrah, but the principles of errors are more important than one type of sin. Arrogance, the preaching of non-repentance, the praise of error, are the foundations that determine the whole way of life in Sodom and Gomorrah. The question is, can we see Sodom and Gomorrah as the people of the world? If the world is looking like Sodom and Gomorrah, then what we have is the proximity of Christ's return, for the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah.
If you are looking for more content from different areas, visit the reformadorstosod.com website. News and detailed content can be found. with system of research and organization of text and video.